Hello guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am Felo le Tee and this is Relocate to Australia with Promise, your number one DIY relocation platform. What I mean by that is that you guys can relocate to Australia or anywhere else in this world and you can literally do this whole process yourself. I have done it and so can you, and so many other people have done it, so trust me, you can do it. Anyways, you guys, I don't want to be too long and have a very long intro because today is gonna be quite long, so I suggest that you grab yourself a snack and something that is gonna keep you entertained because it's gonna be long, honey. I just want to do a bit of housekeeping before I continue with this video. Number one, this is going to be the last episode for the finance series. So if you guys have been following me and you are my regulars and you want to relocate, my relocators, you guys will know that I was doing the finance series, so I was talking everything money and expenses in Australia as an immigrant. So this is going to be like story time, but a bit educational, also still going to be feeding into our main objective of getting you guys to understand what goes on in Australia. And also I think because I had like first-hand experience, then I know what I'm talking about. So we are closing the finance series for 2021 season 4. Next year I am going to be still coming back with the finance series because obviously, as I told you guys in the beginning, we have so much that we need to unpack because things are done very different here in Australia, so that you guys can be prepared when you come here with your money and how to spend your money, how to save money. As you guys know me, I'm all about the saving of the money. So next year when I come back, I want to have leave also in January. I'm like, I cannot be content producing every day, so I'm going to be having leave in January. So when I come back from my leave in January, my YouTube leave in January, then we're going to go back to the finance series for season 5. So that's that. For the finance series, this will be the last episode. Okay, number 2, this December, by the time you guys watch this video, it will already be December. Today's the 30th of November, so by November. So as you guys know, people who are familiar with the streets of YouTube, you will know that content producers then they get involved in this thing called Vlogmas. So I don't understand the idea behind Vlogmas. I think what people do is to upload a video a day of what they do, like this December until Christmas. I don't know, but anyways, because I'm new here, like I've got a 9-to-5 child, like whoa, like what am I going to show you going to work? Basically what I'm going to be doing, it's just an idea that popped up in my head months ago because I was thinking I'm not going to be able to be involved. This is too much going to be. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to be involved in the Vlogmas situation because I can't really, time constraint. But I wanted to do something that would benefit me and grow me. So basically with the dialogue, as I said to you guys, it's like a diary vlog, but I won't be like reading my diary entries. Like I'm a journaler. I journal. Is that a thing? I journal. I'm not going to be like reading out my diary entries for you guys. It will be so boring. But I'm just basically going to be wrapping up my year from January until December. Also in pictures and videos, kind of like reflecting back on my year and what has happened. And I do encourage you guys to also try it out if it is something that you want to do. The good thing about this is that, you know, it places you at a certain place at a certain time in your life, and when you grow older, these things you tend to forget. Like I think I'm a sentiment hoarder. I'm a memory hoarder. Like I'm this kind of a person who's like, I want to keep this memory and I want to have it. Once you've dealt with your traumas, it's very much easy for you to reflect back and sit with yourself to really get to investigate who you are and what has gone on in your life, so that you can then change. You know, you can't be the same person every day, Aibo. You must change. So this dialogue will serve that purpose for me, and I'm hoping that you guys can travel the journey with me and actually enjoy it. So I'm going to be keeping things very festive and very light. I'm not going to be talking anything too much relocation this December. But then when January comes, when I come back from my leave, then we are back to the business. The third thing, when I got my phone back yesterday, so my phone was broken, but I'll go into it when we go into the story time. My phone was broken, so I got it back yesterday. When I got it back, there were so many messages, obviously comments and yay, guy, that I need to respond to. So I have decided that I'm going to go live on my Facebook. By the time this video is uploaded, the live would have already happened. I don't know how to do a YouTube live, but then once I learn how to do that, then maybe I can do live. Then I can do YouTube lives where I actually respond to people's comments. I will be still typing out, but I'm also going to respond verbally. So today's business, me, my health. Okay, so where do I start? Okay, so today is the 30th of November. So this happened 10 days ago. Okay, no, not Actually, it was 10 days ago. Yes, it actually happened. I could say it happened 10 days ago. So on the 20th of November, so Lisa and Yogi, Lisa works with my husband, they were going to have a games night. So they invited like my husband's other colleagues, and me, I'm always following these people around. Like, guys, my husband's workplace, they always invite me to their things all the time. Like, I'm always involved in their things. Even his previous job, it was the same thing. Like, when there was like recreational stuff, they'd be like, bring prom. So anyways, we went to Lisa's and Yogi's on that Saturday. It was so much fun. But prior to that, my phone broke, and I did not really notice that it was broken, but I could see it's not working the way. So we were running errands, and then Tula had my phone, like she was playing Roblox or some game on it, and then she gave me back my phone. But when she gave it back, I didn't really check to see if it was on. I just thought maybe she gave it back because the battery had died or something. But anyway, she gives it back, but then it was when she was giving it back that it fell like face down. So it was like a very hard knock. And it's like a very hard knock on the floor. So I was like, this one don't look no pretty. So I looked at it. The screen was not cracked because it's got like a screen protector, but it was black. So I was like, okay, maybe the battery died. When I got home, I tried to charge it, but it wouldn't charge. And then I took it to Yogi's and Lisa's and still wouldn't charge. So that's when I realized, okay, my phone is broken. But somehow I was not bothered. I was not bothered. I was not frantic about it. I was just like, okay, my phone is broken. It's going to need fixing. That's it. So it's just always that debate of like, okay, will it be fixable or I'll need to buy a new phone? Me, of course, as you know, economical promise. The option will never be buy a new phone until the reason is warranted. Until I've exhausted all my reasoning as to why this phone cannot be fixed, I will not buy another phone. That's just me. I can't waste money like that. So anyway, we came back home Saturday night. Sunday, I wake up 5 a.m. Usually I wake up early. I do that so that I can have like quiet time before my family gets up, because once the children and the husband wake up, it's a madhouse. So I always try to wake up earlier than them so that I can have me time, reflection time, time with God, time with my ancestors. So that's what I usually do when I wake up very early. So anyway, I woke up 5 a.m. But this time around, I woke up in pain, excruciating pain, like underneath my boob area, like here. On my stomach. So I'm like, hey, what is going on with me? Anyway, I was in so much pain. I remembered the pain though, and I'll explain to you how I remembered this pain. But anyway, I was then vomiting. I was so sick. I was hot and I was cold. Like I was just like Jemekar. I've had similar kind of pain, but this was like about 5-6 years ago. But before having like the big pain that I had, it was kind of like a build-up. I thought it was something like your ulcer or heartburn type of thing, because it would be after maybe I've eaten something or something like that where the pain would come. So I thought maybe it's like body ulcer, because at that time also the ulcer was really more fashion. Like everybody had ulcer. Like ulcer was just in fashion. Like everybody would just be like ulcer, ulcer. I'm like, eh, so do I also have this thing? Maybe it spreads like COVID. So I would drink like your Gaviscons and all of that, and it really wouldn't help. I don't know why I do this to myself, but when I always have like a health problem, I always try to ride it out before I'm like, okay, maybe you should go see someone. So it was one of those things as well. It was the pain. It would come and go. It would come and go. But then there was this one day. I will be honest with you guys. I had a very rough night, Coach Sampama. Hey, it was litty. So I had friends from the University of Mpumalanga, like UMP. And they got paid. So I had alcohol flowing. I had a very rough night. It was not it was brutal. So I had a very brutal night. Yo guys, literally. So fine, drinking. It's all nice, it's all good. We are drinking. In the morning. So this is like 5 years, 6 years ago. So in the morning, I woke up with the same pain that I woke up with on Sunday. Excruciating pain, like burning pain. Like I'm like, Nyasha, I'm burning. I'm burning like on my chest. Like I could not breathe. I was rolling on the floor. I was like, you know what? At that moment, literally, if God and my ancestors were like, come my child, let's go, I would have been gone. I would have been like, take me, take me, take me. Ooh, it was so painful. So anyways, my husband was like, well, now you are dying. Let's go to the hospital. Yes, we had to drive 1 hour, 30 minutes to Pretoria because we did not have any private hospitals in Siyabuswa. So we drove to Pretoria. We got there. The doctor looked at me and was like, well, now. So he did an endoscopy thingy, like they put a camera like through your mouth. It was so uncomfortable and so painful. I don't know why that guy did not sedate me. So anyway, they did like that endo thingy because he wanted to see if I had the ulcers. So he did not see any ulcers. He was like, no, we're gonna have to like run some blood tests. So he did blood tests and my liver enzymes were out of this world. He was like, well, now how are you still working and alive? Because your liver is basically failing. And I'm like, what do you mean my liver is failing? So he was attributing it probably to me having had like a lot of alcohol, like with like probably the alcohol poisoning. But I'm like, dude, I've been having this pain like this whole time and I don't drink every day, so it would still come even when I was not drinking. Anyway, he was like to me, well, the liver repairs itself, so you just stay away from alcohol. Like I couldn't even take Panado or like any medication. And it was also during that year where I fell pregnant with Clolo, and then my abstinence from alcohol was prolonged, and I think maybe it helped to heal my liver. So with my liver, I was like, I need alcohol poisoning, child alcohol, so leave alcohol. I had this one friend of mine, Uko, who would be like to me, "Hi, Nwela, show me drink," and then uzawuphuza liver rescue. I'm like, Uko would always be like that to me because we'd still go out clubbing and all of that. And Uko was like, Nwela sisi, Nwela, drink him, drink, liver rescue shall be fine. I'm like, this guy wants to kill me. So yeah, I did not drink for a whole year. So this time around, it cannot be alcohol because I've not been drinking alcohol for over a year. So I'm like, this one, I don't know what this one is. So anyways, I was in so much pain. I was vomiting. My husband was like, what can I do? I'm like, you just watch me, okay? And then it got to a point where I could not take the pain anymore. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a shower and you're going to take me to the hospital. So I took a shower and then I went to the hospital. I should have worn Raggedy Ass clothes because those people, they tore my clothes into 2 pieces with a scissor. I was so sad. So anyways, we drove to the Harvey Bay Hospital, which is about like 15 minutes away from our house. And I was like, thank you, Father Lord. Thank you, God, that I'm in Australia. Because if I was in South Africa, again, it would have been that 1.5 hour commute to Pretoria to get a private hospital. But anyway, Harvey Bay Hospital is a government hospital, but we'll go into that discussion. So we drove 15 minutes to the hospital. Happy days. When we got to the hospital, my husband went inside because I couldn't move. So I was left in the car with the girls and then he went to get help. It was during that time where these guys come. I saw them coming and then this white guy just touched me. And I don't know what he said, but I fainted. I don't know if I was being dramatic or what, but I just felt like I just heard something like very distant. And then it just went blank. I think my body gave in because I was in so much pain. Like I was in so much pain. I couldn't explain that pain to anyone. It was worse than labor. It was worse than labor pain. But I've not like given birth fully straight. But still, like, it was painful. So anyway, my husband explains to me that I fainted and then they had to like put me on this wheelchair thingy. So I'm like, this guy, he allowed these people to take me like anything on a wheelchair into the hospital. I'm like, you could have carried me like this. But this man, I'm like, how this man's ganzoto. You could have carried me like this, but no, I was like this on a wheelchair going inside the hospital. My dignity. I remember hearing, but from a distance, like I remember this guy holding me here, and then he kept on saying, resuscitate, resuscitate, when I was like gone. But somehow in my head, because I couldn't see anything, I was like, are they talking about resuscitating me? Am I dead? And it was only when I woke up and I was like, did anyone say resuscitate? I asked my husband, I was like, did you hear anyone saying resuscitate? They were like, yeah, you were gone. Like they were like, resuscitate because you were gone. I'm like, so I was gone or gone, just gone. So anyway, I remember then being on the stretcher in the ED, like emergency department, and there was this lovely nurse, and then I was on the stretcher and I had like all these people around me, and then I see the scissor coming. I had this dress on and this nice bra of mine, and they cut both of them, like literally they were just like everything. You know, I was looking at this woman, I'm like, you are cutting my clothes. Like, why don't you just ask me to undress? But then at the time I couldn't talk, but I was like, these are my clothes and I bought them with man. Now what am I going to do with a dress like this? And I cannot sew my dress and sew my bra to continue wearing them. These people. So anyways, they cut everything. Here I was, Africa full in display. And then the most weirdest thing happened. I literally woke up and I looked at them and I was like, I want my mom. And then I literally cried. I was like, I want my mom. I want my mom. And then the nurses were like, we will get your mom. Like, they were like, we will get your mom. I'm like, no, you can't get my mom. You can't get my mom. And they're like, what do you mean we can't get your mom? I'm like, she's in Africa. And then after I realized that I'm being ridiculous, I was like, where are my children? And then they were like, no, ma'am, your children are outside with your husband and all of that. And I was like, are they okay? And they're like, no, they were fine. I kept on just asking about them. I'm like, I just want to see them and make sure that they were okay. And then they came to see me. And then after the doctors were like, okay, no, we'll do some tests. And they put these bitty things on me. And then they were like, okay, fine. We'll do some tests to see what is going on. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. So then now I was admitted. The pain would come and go. Like, oh, when it comes, it was so excruciating. But then it would go and then it would come back. It would go. So they had me like on some pain medication, the drip situation and all of that. And then they took me for an ultrasound. When I got there, I met this amazing doctor lady. Oh, she was so amazing. She was so beautiful. We had a very good conversation until I started vomiting. It was during the ultrasound where she said to me, yeah, you've got gallstones and your gallbladder is inflamed, yada, yada, yada. That's all we need to know. You might have to get it removed. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. So there was a doctor that was like, no, we're thinking it's ulcers. I'm like, Dr. Bona, it's not ulcers. That I know for sure. And then I explained to them the story that I just told you about 5 years ago. And I was like, I literally do suspect that it might be my liver. And then they ran some blood tests and all of that. And then they realized, yeah, nah, it is literally the liver. So when I slept on the 21st, which is on a Sunday, they were just having like talks of, okay, you might go into surgery, but it was not like a definite thing. So in the morning, the following day on the 22nd, like what a way to start my first month being 28 years of age. I'm like, yes, I'm really getting old. Because now I'm like, 1 month into being 28 already, me, I'm going to get surgery for things like gallbladder. I'm like, gallbladder, you don't have gallbladder issues at 16. Oh my God. Hey, you are grown, promise. You're having grown people's problem. Ning ning jig jig. I'll be having knee problems and arthritis and carabitis and diabetes. The following day, the 22nd of November, the doctor comes. Like now, this was like the senior doctor. He comes and then he's like, nope, you're gonna have to go into surgery. Nah, you don't look good at all. So like, coming from South Africa, like surgeries are not things that happen just like that. So my husband and I are actually having this discussion, and he was like, dude, do you understand that if we were still back home, we would still have to be calling GEMS and the medical aid to say, yeah, kai. And like, we are waiting for authorization. Yeah, authorization. I'm dying. Here I am, I'm dying. You are busy telling me about authorization. Imagine. And I remember when my husband got shot, that is exactly what happened with him. He couldn't go to surgery immediately because the hospital was like, we are still waiting for authorization from your medical aid. And you're like, but... So this time around, did not have to deal with like the whole authorization situation, parakarization, wara. So we did not have to deal with that. So it was very quick. But the other good thing is that because it was a government hospital, like you don't then need those authorizations. But comparing that hospital to government hospitals that I have seen in Africa, child, that is not a government hospital. The bed was amazing because it kept on doing this. I'm like, I don't have to like get up now. Like, it does this. And usually you'd find those beds in your private hospitals. If it is a government hospital, I think it's like their IC unit or like a special unit type of situation. But usually the beds that I have seen in a government hospital, they don't look like that, child. They do not look like that. And you guys know. But anyway, the hospital was proper. It was clean. It was not too populated. But then again, you look at like the population size here in Australia and how they manage things. Because where I come from in South Africa, if you go to a government hospital, literally trust me, there is a chance that you might even share a bed with someone. Or sleep on the floor. It does happen. So that not happening to me, even though I was in a government hospital, felt like a blessing. The most amazing thing, you guys, I met a lot of South Africans in that hospital. So 2 of my nurses, like the ones that were taking care of me during the day and at night, were both South Africans. With the first one, it was not too obvious, but it was only in our conversation where I was like, are you from South Africa? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, me too. And then we spoke about home, not good things. But then the second nurse, like her Afrikaner was still on the tongue. Like when she came, she was like, okay, promise. I'm like, you Afrikaner, you. They've been here for many years. Like I'm still new, like just 2019. And they were like, no, 16 years, 20 years, 10 years. I'm like, yo. Hi, Lena, you are Australian. You are no longer South African. When you are now Australian. And then when I went to theater, 2 of the doctors there, I don't know, like I carry like these doctors, they have like different titles, like anesthesiologist, so then when I went into surgery, 2 of my doctors, like who were going to butcher me and slaughter my situation, they were also South African, which was so much fun because I think they went to Stellenbosch And when I was explaining to them that no, I went to Wits and my husband went to University of Pretoria, they were like, we are arch enemies because we are from Stellenbosch. But then it was great because then I did not feel foreign like in the hospital, because then there were like fellow South Africans there, and you just feel like somebody knows you and you know them, so you are in good hands. I don't know why I felt like that, but they were really amazing. They're really good people. And when we were talking, they were like, well, there are a lot of South Africans in this hospital. So I'm telling you guys, there's so many South Africans out here in Australia, in Hervey Bay, like regional Australia, doing great things, doing amazing things. So if you're in the nursing field, the medical field, there are job vacancies. And I think with this particular hospital, they do sponsor people. I know this because I've got this one friend of mine. She's from Kenya though. She got sponsored. So she came on a sponsored visa to be a doctor in Hervey Bay. So then you guys, I then had my surgery. After my surgery, I was not really on a lot of pain medication. The nurse kept on coming saying, Promise, I need to give you pain medication. I was like, I'm not in pain. It's like, you just came out of surgery. I'm like, girl, listen. Nah, me. Me, I'm from initiation school. So, pain, I know pain. And the pain that I was just through just now is nothing compared to this pain. The one thing that was very painful was the drain that they had on the side. So they had to like put in a drain, because when they went inside, there were fluids that had gone to like my abdominal area. I don't know why. With my surgery anyway, the good thing is it was not an open surgery. The doctors did explain to me that there is a chance that it might be open, but their plan was they were going to do a camera thingy. What is an endo? What? So they poked like about 4 holes to put in things inside of my stomach, and then they had like a main entry on my belly button to then do the whole removing and all of that. Man, I was asleep, I was gone, so I don't know. The only painful thing was the drain on the side, because then I would see my fluids going into that little Gucci bag, and I kept on saying to the doctor, it's like a Gucci bag but it's not expensive. So it would go into like this little baggy thingy, and I had that for like 2 days. It was so uncomfortable, I hated it. But generally the pain was not too bad. Like it was horrible if I would like lie down for too long or sit for too long. Like it still is even now, but it's not like excruciating. And even though I was in pain, because obviously I've just come from the slaughterhouse, I left my gallbladder there, so obviously you will have some sort of pain on your body, but it was not as painful and as excruciating as the pain that I had, and I could manage the pain without any painkillers. When I'm in pain, I'm in pain. You must know Promise is in pain. My pain threshold is very high. The time I was requesting medication was before the gallbladder. You see, there I was in pain. I was even buzzing. The emergency thing where you call the nurses, I'm like, I'm like, nurse, when is the next painkiller coming? They're like, Promise, we gave you this. I'm like, give me more. So anyway, my gallbladder was removed. So as you see me now coming to you, I'm a girl without a gallbladder. I've had 2 things removed in my body. First was my tonsils, because I got this thing called quinsy. Again, I had to wait until I was near death situation, and then the doctors was like, child. But I was operated by this amazing doctor who's so brilliant. And this was like back in South Africa. I think he was one of the I think he's a doctor who, I think he was the first black doctor to heal deafness or something like that. But he did something great in the medical field. Anyway, yeah, that was the guy that removed my tonsils. So I have been touched by greatness. So yes, I am without my gallbladder. I'm without my tonsils. I'm not too sure how that's going to work when I pass away, because I heard that ancestors, when you die, they want to fool how you were born. So I don't know, maybe then we have to like slaughter an elephant or a rhino so that I can then enter into the spiritual realm. And it is so unfortunate because I will not be able to vlog about it. I'll be dead. So wish me luck. So then I came home. Obviously, you guys, you know what? God works in mysterious ways, because in all honesty, if I had my phone with me, people like front row seats to your misery. I always feel like if you put it out there that you're unwell or there's some misfortune or something bad happening in your life, all of a sudden there's this huge attention on you, like, what is going on, what has happened, and then you have to explain the story multiple times to different people who want to hear from the horse's mouth what has happened. So the good thing about my phone being broken, I did not have to deal with that. I did not have access to my phone, and I didn't even want it. I was like, you know what, it's good, like it's good hiatus for me. I don't need it, because I really do not want to be explaining the same thing over and over again. Here I am now on YouTube explaining it, so whoever wants to know will come and watch. Even my family back in South Africa, I did not talk to them. Like literally no friend of mine, no family member heard anything from me. Even like now, like I've not really spoken to anyone that much, only my in-laws. I did speak to my in-laws because they would then be calling my husband, and then at the time I would be like with him, and then I would speak to them. Otherwise, with my family, I've not really spoken to them. I just got my phone last night. Again, time difference, we're 8 hours ahead. I don't want to be on the phone again, like stressing people. I am fine, I'm okay, I'm alive. One thing that COVID has taught us is that life is so precious, like it can literally be taken away from you at any point in time. So I'm just grateful to be here and to be alive. I'm not really spoken to any of my family members. They are aware, they know what is going on because my husband would be updating them, but I am fine. The other thing is, honestly guys, you know, it is so frustrating, and I'm hoping that you guys will take something out of this now. When you know a person, either it is a friend, a family, or whatever, who is going through something, like whether it is health related, relationship, life wise, or whatever, like you can see that they're struggling. Instead of you wanting to know what is happening, and then you can't even do anything after I tell you that information, like how are you going to help me? Like, you knowing, how is that going to benefit me? Don't ask that person for the story and the whole spiel. It's so tiring. Rather ask the person, how can I be of service? How can I help you? And that's it. And that's all we need. And I think sometimes people share their stories in the hopes of, you know, somebody saying, hey, let me help you out. But then usually that's not what happens. Like, even if it's like literally friends and family, people that you have in your close circle, sometimes people don't always have like the best intention for you. So they will want to know the story so that they can go tell their other friends and other people to say, she said. And I was having a conversation with my cousin-in-law, so Mamsi. She's not my cousin-in-law anymore because it's been over 10 years now. She's my cousin. I was talking to her yesterday. There's something very unfortunate also that happened in my husband's side of the family. I can't tell you guys about it. We were talking about this exact thing yesterday because obviously when I found out what happened, I just wanted to call her to just check on her. So I said to her immediately, I was like, look, cuz, don't tell me what has happened. We'll catch up later. We'll talk about it some other day. I just want to check if you're okay. Like, you don't have to feel entitled to tell me what has happened just because I'm calling. I just want to make sure that you are fine. And she was like to me, you know, Promise, the reason why you're doing this is because you've experienced something similar. I remember, as I told you guys, if you guys know, my husband got shot when we were in South Africa. If you've not watched that video, it's gonna pop up now so that you guys can watch what had happened with my husband when he got shot. So after my husband got shot, that's the exact same thing that I experienced, where people just wanted to know what has happened. And then when you look at, after telling this person what has happened, what are you going to do with that information? Like, how is it going to serve you? Like, you know, so it was so tiring. I got to a point where I could not entertain people, and I did not want people around me and next to me because the sympathy was just so toxic and it dragged me down. And I felt like I don't need this energy right now. All I just need is prayer and strength and somebody that is just going to tell me it's going to be okay. Like, even though I don't know it's going to be okay because this man just had a bullet go through him. He nearly died and he's in and out of surgery. But I just wanted somebody who did not want to know what has happened. Rather, somebody who's like, Promise, how can I be of service? How can I help you? How can I support you? Whatever happens with your friends, family members, or whatever, don't be the first one to wanting to know what has happened so that when you can be clued up and all of that. Always try to seek and understand what their needs are at that point in time, because all they might just need is a hug. But how will you know when you are too occupied wanting to know the story? I think that is why I thank God for my phone having had been broken, because I think I would have been very mean on the phone with like either people on my social media or family friends where they would have wanted to know, are you okay? Is everything fine? But I'm just saying, be very mindful of the things you do and say to people when they are in distress or not in favorable situations. Ooh, I knew I was going to be too long, so I'm going to be cutting these videos into 2 parts. I will upload this one separately and another one coming shortly. So yes guys, I am fine. I did go through surgery. I'm still in recovery. I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. Family, I will call you immediately when I'm done with this video and you guys are awake. I will call you to just catch up. But I did message some of my family members to say, hey, I'm back. I've just been through this. My phone broke, but I'm here. We'll talk. And then that's it. And I don't know what will happen if I die tomorrow or they die tomorrow. But then if they die, they die. And if I die, I'm gone. So I'm gone. Anyways, you guys, I think I'm going to end this one video here, and then we'll do part 2 just now, okay?